Welcome back. Project Drive Safer now, and a conversation about what's been working in the push for safer streets in Milwaukee.
And Carol, that conversation took place on one of our city's streetcars. It's part of the Hopcast series. It's a social media talk show of sorts. It takes community leaders for a ride on the Hop. This time it was our turn, along with the city's director of public works. The Hopcast, now in its 21st episode, is a rolling conversation about moving Milwaukee forward. On the latest edition, TMJ4 News was invited along for the ride.
The driving behavior that I see on my drive and my commute is and has been shocking.
That's Tim Vetscher, our news director, standing next to Jerrel Kruschke, the city's commissioner of public works. The guy keeping our conversation on track is Jeff Sherman.
You did a report on the driver's licensing process, right? And I think a lot of people don't realize that driver's ed isn't in all the schools anymore.
Jeff is talking about the end of universal driver's ed, something that stopped in Wisconsin 20 years ago. More recently, we've seen the end of a teenage rite of passage, the mandatory road test before you get a license.
Did you take a road test?
I did, yes.
Like a road test?
Yes,
Yep,
absolutely.
Years
Years
ago.
ago.
You do the road
Right.
test. A parent can opt their child out of the road test in Wisconsin. Why would you do that?
Commissioner Kruschke called out something else we've reported on extensively: fast moves by the city to slow down traffic on notorious streets like Capitol Drive.
We're trying to do things pretty quickly, and if you've seen on Capitol Drive or if you've seen on Oklahoma around Humboldt Park, we're doing what we're called pinned-on concrete bump outs. So what it's doing is it's kind of making those intersections a little more uncomfortable for cars to go through and shortening that path for a pedestrian to cross.
And all of that before we even set foot on a streetcar, where this conversation continues.
Here comes one now.
There we go.
Want to run for it?
Yeah, let's go.
Once we took our seats, the chat turned to the changes we saw out the window, the investment Milwaukee is making to create safer streets.
The changes we're making aren't, sometimes a little more expensive, but what's the expense of someone's human life? We have like $250 million in projects coming up over the next 5 years, and all of them, so one aspect or another, is putting a complete street mindset behind it. So we're trying to hit it from every angle.
A strategy a lot like Project Drive Safer, coming at the problem from multiple directions, hoping the collective effort is what sticks.
All we can do in television is put our lens on the thing. And hopefully we're putting our lens on reckless driving every day for a year. At least one story every day for a year. We're able to kind of worm our way into people's brains, because it all starts with the individual mentality.
That's just a snippet of our 35-minute long chat. You can see the whole thing. We have a link to the latest Hopcast up at projectdrivesafer.com.
Our commitment is definitely there. Steve, thank you very much. Storm Team 4, a pleasant